welcome back to Katie Daily. Today I'm going to be starting a very long anticipated project that I've been wanting to start. I'm making my own DIY farmhouse dining room table, just like everybody else in the world. Everybody loves this style. I do. I think it's super cute. I've watched a lot of videos on it. I feel like I've kind of gotten the gist of how to do it, and I am not a pro at all. Like, I definitely don't have the skills and the knowledge that a lot of other people do. Probably the products I could use a little more expensive. I kind of got the cheapest of all of the things, so I'm definitely not like the best. But I am excited to do this, and honestly, like, if it looks good and it works for us, like, then I am totally happy. So I do have a random shirt on from one of my old jobs, and my hair's up in a bun, and I'm just going to be getting the dirty work done today. So I hope that you enjoy this video. Let me know if you like watching me refinish some pieces. I really enjoy it. I think it's super fun. You save so much money. The fact that you can just like redo something and like make it your own is really cool. I mean, I've redone this piece right here. This was something that I did just recently. Ranger, hold on a minute. Okay, he's being good. You just never know, honestly. Anyways, I just redid that one. That just had green and red on it, but I wanted it to be like more farmhouse. Let me know if you have any questions. All of the products that I use are going to be listed in the description box. Enjoy this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you with a gorgeous new dining room table. Let's get started. Okay, so here's the table before I did anything to it. It does have like a leaf that you can put in the middle, but I decided not to paint that just because I wanted the brush strokes to all be the same.
If you wanna go, let's go. Let's wrap it up and hit the road. I just got an awesome vibe.
So step one is sanding. Like I said, you can do this really however you want. I've heard that you don't have to sand any special way, but I've also heard that if you take your time sanding, you're gonna be way well off. So I use this grit, 120 grit, pretty simple. I got one of these little hand holders so it wasn't so hard on my hands, and I just took the time to kind of get that top layer of gloss off of the chairs and the table, and this just kind of gets it ready for paint. It kind of gives it a little bit more grip so that the paint has something to hold on to. It ended up being like so like sandy and messy that I actually put a mask on because I was like breathing it in and it was just annoying. So
Sleeping in the back of a van.
but yeah, so I just sanded all the chairs. This kind of took a long time. I'm not really quite sure how in depth you have to be with this, but I was just trying to take my time with it and make it have a good little palette for the paint to sit on.
You gotta understand that we get one chance, one chance. You will never regret the things that.
The next thing that I did was just take a damp cloth, and I'm just going over all of that sanding I did to kind of get off sanding pieces and dust. You want to be really thorough with this too, just because you want a really super clean wood to work on. I ended up actually taking the vacuum to it and getting all the stuff in the middle, and it just kind of makes sure you don't have anything that you're going to paint into the wood accidentally.
Someday we will look back and our hearts will be whole again. I want to remember.
So for my paint, I'm using a paint and primer mix. You can do a primer beforehand. This was honestly just easiest for me. I got it in the shade Eggshell, and it was the cheapest paint I could find actually. So I am just painting a first coat on here. You can spray paint chairs. That does help with the legs and stuff. It's a lot easier, but I really wanted it to have that kind of a brushstroke look. So I just did one coat and eventually made my way up to 3 coats. This first coat was pretty simple. You want to make sure you're like going in the grain of the wood, just because that's how this project I wanted it to look, was just kind of that wood wash look. If you keep going in the grain of the wood, that's going to help your paint just kind of dry that way and make it all look the best.
Can't you just make up your mind? My heart drops when you play around. How can you be up when I'm down? Don't want things
So this is after the third coat. I have it all propped up right here, but this was the hardest part to get, was like underneath the table. Got the third coat on there. All the chairs have 3 coats. So I think that they're looking pretty good. Like, they're definitely not gonna be perfect, but I think that's what honestly I like about it, is it has like the brush strokes, and I really like the way it looks. Okay, so this is kind of where the art project comes in. I'm using the brand Apple Barrel for paint, and they're just from Walmart. Got elephant gray, melted chocolate, and light mocha. I'm just kind of adding in a little bit of the gray with the brown, so I get more of like a taupe color, because I didn't want it to be too brown. And I actually ended up not using like that tan color because I thought it made it look a little bit too warm, but you just want to eyeball this. And then on Pinterest, I saw a method where you just take some water. So this is just an old cleaning bottle, and I just sprayed a little bit of water on the table after my coat was dry. Then I'm just taking a dry, like really bristled brush, and I'm going through and I'm just kind of making strokes. And when you first do it, it gets kind of scary because you think you're messing it up, but the longer you do it, the better it gets. And I'm just kind of mixing all those colors together, mostly using a little bit of the gray, because I kind of wanted to highlight the gray color. Just going across the whole table, and throughout I'm also using a little bit of a towel to kind of mix it together and blend it. But you just really want to go for it. It's really scary after you paint and you work so hard on all those layers of paint, but I think it gives it so much more texture, and I really just enjoy doing it. Just be artistic, don't be afraid. It can be scary, but if you just keep going, it just keeps getting better. Okay, and then it got a little bit dark, so I'm just coming back in with some white, and I'm just highlighting out some parts, which gives it a little bit more texture, and it also just kind of brings out more of that grainy look, and I wanted to kind of lighten it back up. So just use a light hand and just keep working. Come on, give me something. The night is young. Okay, so this is where we are at. I kind of just brushed those colors on. I feel like it's looking good. I don't really know, like you could just like analyze it forever, but I think it's just like that textured look I'm looking for. And then I just went on the sides and kind of did the same thing. And I'm gonna keep going with the chairs and come back to this. So I really just did the exact same thing with the chairs and also the base. The base I kind of was a little bit more sloppy with because it's just under the table and you don't really see it. Kind of takes a lot of time, but it honestly is kind of fun. And to top it all off, after everything's dried, I'm just putting on a top coat. I think this is a polyacrylic. There's so many different kinds you can use, but I will definitely link it below in the description box so you can get the exact products that I used. Okay, so it is now time to do the upholstery on the chairs. This was just like the hardest choice for me. I don't know why. I ended up just going with a really simple gray. I'll show you the different options. I just went to Joann's and Hobby Lobby. Joann's had a lot of good fabric, but it was kind of more expensive. It was like $34.99 a yard, and I think they've got good coupons, but I just wasn't able to find one. So then I went to Hobby Lobby, and that's where I found the most cheap. It was like $14.99 a yard, and then it was 30% off. So I wanted it to be able to match everything throughout the year, so that's kind of why I went so boring, but I will show you. But here were the choices. So this was one gray. I thought it was kind of like, you can't really tell in this light, but it kind of looked a little weird. And then this gray was like pretty dark against the chairs. And I'm not like, this is just a temporary floor. Like, obviously I'm not gonna like be living here for very long because hashtag military life. So I just wanted to do the table how I wanted it. This one had like stripes on it, and I liked that. And then this gray, but this is the gray I ended up going with. And it kind of just matches the chairs really nicely. Kind of has a little bit of like the gray tone, like light and then dark too. So those were all my swatches. So I ended up doing this one. And we are going to get to upholstering those today. I'm gonna have Zach help me because I think it's like a 2-person job.
We're still here, flipping coins about what's to come. It starts getting cold, and we don't know any way out of here. We're trying to understand how it all started to go wrong. But the sea is way too deep. Yeah, it's deeper than we could ever go, honey. We have to be together here in the stormy weather. So why do we hold on, stuck in the stormy weather? Stuck in the stormy weather.
Okay, so here's the final product. I really love it. I was able to put my little centerpiece in and it just all came together. I'm not like gonna be living in this house forever, obviously, so like I wasn't quite pairing it with the floor, but I love the colors of the textures and everything in here. I think that it just looks really cool and farmhouse, and just turned a free table into something that I really love and something that no one else has. We're able to use cleaning products on the table, and yeah, so I highly recommend just going in. Don't be afraid. It can be super scary at first, but you really can't mess it up. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it kind of gave you some inspiration and helped you out. Really just super fun project. Let me know if you have any questions about how I did anything. I think it looked super good, and hopefully I can do some more refinishing projects here soon. So thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.
Mind your own biscuits and life will be great.